Hey y'all, welcome to the Max Life. Today I'm going to be talking to y'all about Usnea lichen. Now a lot of people have asked me for tinctures, so this is, I really feel like, the powerhouse of many tinctures. It is super strong, and with that being said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an herbalist, and I'm not advising any of you to make this or take this. I'm just simply showing you what I'm doing for my family and taking you along the journey. So Usnea lichen is very powerful. It is also known as the old man's beard. The most important things is you need to make sure what kind of lichen you are dealing with. One of the easiest ways to identify Usnea lichen is by the rubber band-like cord that is in the middle. So when you are identifying the lichen, you need to pull a strand back and make sure that you have a rubber band cord in the middle of the lichen. It's very easy to do. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Usnea is considered to be edible when it's leached a few times, but it's not typically used for that. It is typically used for medicinal purposes, and I'm going to go over a few of those with y'all so you'll know how beneficial it is. Its antibiotic properties are very similar to penicillin and known to treat staph infection, pneumonia, tuberculosis, and strep that is associated with strep throat. It can also be used for other things like sinus infections, colds, and other viral infections as well. It can be made into salves that can be used directly on the skin for many of the skin infections that we've already talked about. It can also be used in things like yeast infections, ringworms, thrust, jock itch, dandruff, athlete's foot. It's also highly effective in treating viral infections such as Epstein-Barr, herpes, and HPV. One of the things that I find most fascinating about Usnea is its ability to stop bleeding. When it's applied directly to wounds, it can cause clotting very quickly, which controls bleeding very effectively. The best way to harvest Usnea is after storms. Many of the trees that are already decaying will have it hanging, and the storms will blow those on the ground. So not only does it make it easier for you to reach, but it's already on the ground. One thing to keep in mind is it is very slow growing. It takes a very long period of time to get just a very little product. Only take what you need. It's very important. Usnea is also highly concentrated, so it is also very important not to take large doses of this. Tea is an ineffective way to consume, as we're going to talk about in our process here in just a minute, the double extraction method that I used. The water only pulls out certain chemicals from this, so it's kind of an ineffective way to use the plant appropriately. It just does not extract everything that is available there in the plant. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the double extraction method that you're going to see me using in this video. The most important thing that you want to remember when making most tinctures, but especially this, we're going to be using a 3-to-1 ratio. That is alcohol to Usnea. With the double extracting method, the first thing that you're going to see me do is I'm going to take all of my Usnea, cut it up into very small pieces, and get a measurement. For my measurement, I only got 0.8. With that measurement, put it over into my crock pot. Then I will measure out 0.8 of distilled water, add that to my crock pot. Now this is kind of the process that is more hands-off. It will stay on the lowest temperature in your crock pot for 3 full days. You're basically adding just enough water to moisten your Usnea. You're going to let it stay on that lowest setting for the full complete 3 days. After the 3 days, you're going to take everything from your crock pot, place in a jar. Then you're going to measure out your alcohol. Now remember, this is a 3-in-1 ratio. So since I have almost an ounce of Usnea. I used almost an ounce of water. That's what's in my crock pot. Now I will take 0.1 and multiply that times 3 to get the amount of alcohol that I need for my tincture. For example, if you were going to use 1 full ounce of Usnea, you would measure out 1 ounce of distilled water for your crock pot. You would use 3 ounces of alcohol for the tincture. When you're at this step, the most important thing that you need to know next is you need 80 to 100% proof alcohol. My family does not consume alcohol. We have restrictions there as we feel in our Christian conscience that is not the right thing to do. So we refrain from drinking alcohol. However, I do find it very, very beneficial in making tinctures. Like I mentioned to y'all earlier, the water cannot extract many of the compounds from the plants, and that is where the alcohol comes in. So at this point in time, when you have your 3-to-1 ratio, you're going to add your alcohol percentage over into your water and Usnea. Once you have combined the two in a jar, you're going to cover that up, put it away for 6 to 8 weeks. Make sure that you label it so you can keep up with those dates. When your 6 to 8 weeks are up, you're going to strain off the liquid part from the Usnea. That is what you will use for your tincture. Cheesecloth works very well when you're straining your tincture. Remember to shake your tincture daily before you strain it. Once you are at the stage where you're ready to strain, cap off your tincture tightly and put it away. If you're going to take this internally, be sure that you have alcohol that is of drinking quality. If you're going to take it internally, that would be wise. Remember, there are many benefits to Usnea, and there are many different ways that you can use it. Oil infused is one if you're planning on making a salve. That is another video for another day, so y'all stay tuned. Also, I want to recommend one of the things that I have found very beneficial in my growth of learning is using books. Having books on hand. This is one of my favorite books that I often refer to, and she is full of knowledge. This book is laid out very well. I have no affiliation with this book, but it is laid out very well. It's so full of so much information. I have learned a tremendous amount from this book. Not only is it helpful in learning different plants, but it also has ways to identify plants. It also has ways you can use the plant, so it is very beneficial. If you don't have a copy of this book, I do recommend getting a copy of it, and it will increase your knowledge. Y'all have asked for a tincture video for a really long time, so I did start out with something that I feel like is pretty simple. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It is what many of you have been asking for a long time. It is amazing to see the things that God gave us right here growing on our lands for us to use and heal our bodies. Good luck. Remember, I'm not recommending this to anyone. This is just the journey that my family has taken. Many of the things that I have shared with you today have come straight from this book. With all of that being said, happy homesteading, y'all.